really off to an exciting start today. We have Jeannie Sullivan and Pam Lang from the University of Florida, but we're really in great hands today. Jeannie talking a little bit as I've had the pleasure of getting to know her. She's actually in Buffalo, New York, not too far from us as a regional admissions rep, overseeing a lot of states, which one of those is Pennsylvania, which is nice. Really impressed with Jeannie and just really what I consider a professional admissions official, very knowledgeable, has worked at other institutions, really understands a lot of different perspectives about what goes into the admissions process for students, as well as our counseling side of life. And she was gracious enough to bring Pam Lang into the call today. Pam is in the Colorado area. She handles all of the West Coast recruitment, but looking a little bit, Pam's been close to now, 5 years, coming up on 5 years with the University of Florida in a recruiting capacity. And Pam actually has some Ohio connections, which is great for our group. Pam is from originally, I think you mentioned Shelby, Ohio, if I remembered properly. So probably our Ohio crowd knows that very well. So without further ado, I will turn things over to Jeannie today. She's got a great presentation as well as Pam, and they will get us up to date on what's going on with the University of Florida.
All right, thank you, everyone. I'm going to share my screen, the usual Zoom goodies. All right, so good morning, y'all. My name is Jeannie, like in a bottle. And as Jason said, I cover the Northeast, and that pretty much means everything besides New York. This morning, I'm joined with my colleague, Pam, who will help during the questions at the end. During this presentation, I'll go over a little bit about Gainesville and campus, and then I'll talk about the admissions process. So here we go. We recently just got this rank about 10 minutes ago. As Jason said, we are ranked number 5 for top public universities, and we are one of the largest in regard to student population. We have over 55,000 students total, and about 38,000 are undergrad. 15% of our students are out of state, which we are striving to get that to 20% eventually. We have a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio. In this past year, we hired over 400 new faculty and staff, giving students that big campus feel with the small campus resources. We do have a 97% freshman retention rate, which is one of the highest. And we have over 120 different majors for students to choose from, with 5 professional schools in medicine, dental, vet med, pharmacy, and law. And we do have the #1 teaching hospital in the state of Florida. We were one of the first college campuses to have artificial intelligence and have become a national leader in the field, which allows students from all majors to do research within agriculture, cybersecurity, and healthcare, to name a few. And that has contributed to over $100 million worth of funding for research last year. When it comes to that artificial intelligence, there's going to be a wide variety that we're doing on our campus. We have students looking at coffee and how different temperatures and soils affects coffee, because we know college students love their coffee. I know I do, as much as everyone on this call does. When it comes to student life on campus, there are a lot of ways for students to get involved. First and foremost, we have the Gator Growl, which is one of my favorite things to talk about, and that is the largest student-run pep rally. And it's the weekend of homecoming, so that Friday we do cancel classes, and during the day we have a parade, and at nighttime we have musical guests. So in the past, we've had like Ty Dolla $ign, Chase Rice, Passion Pit, but also comedians such as like Kevin Hart, for example. When it comes to UF and Gainesville, we are your very traditional college town. So the whole city shuts down for game day, and you'll always see blue and orange, very much like Ohio State or like Michigan. So lots of school pride and lots of school spirit. One of my favorite things, especially around football, which is one of my favorite traditions, is at the end of the third quarter, everyone sings this one song. It's a Tom Petty song. And no matter where you are, either in the stadium or a restaurant in the Northeast with other Gator fans, everyone will stop and sing this song when it comes on. So it feels like you really are in the stadium, even if you're not there. Oh, I just got chills thinking about it. We do have a very vibrant student body with over 1,000 clubs and student organizations for students to be a part of, such as like Quidditch, pre-professional programs. We do have the Fallen Gators, which is our skydiving club, to the Alligator, which is one of the largest student-run newspapers. We have a dynamic Greek organization system with over 60 organizations, anywhere from academic to social and cultural. And we do have a wide variety of intramural sports such as water polo, ice hockey, which, yes, is very different for Florida, but we do have ice hockey and Dillard's among all the other ones. And I think for me, the most important is to talk about President Fox, which you can see in the photo says, "Love your mask." That is our president of the university. I believe he is an important part of the student experience at UF because he is always stopping to take photos with students. He loves to photobomb students during graduation time when they are taking their photos. And a few years ago, literally right before the lockdown, he bought a class over 200 pizzas just because someone put us down for a final exam question. He loves to see students on campus, and students love seeing him and taking photos with him. Since I know not everyone has been able to visit campus, here's a little aerial view of what campus kind of looks like. And this is where a lot of students will be interacting during their time in Florida. So right in the middle of the screen, you are able to see Plaza of Americas, and this has more foot traffic than the gate to Disney. This is pretty much the essential part of our campus since 2 libraries are here. A lot of clubs and organizations like to table here. One of Pam's and I's favorite club, it's called the Krishna Club. So every day they have lunch for you. So you just pay $5 and you can refill your plate as much as you like. So it's a great way to get food during your lunch break. And it is a place for students to come and relax. In the upper left, you are able to see the Rights Union. And this is where a lot of the clubs and organizations, Greek life is. We do have a movie theater, so students don't have to travel far for a movie on a rainy day, and lots of dining options. This past summer, we learned that in there, a lot of the local restaurants in the city of Gainesville, they can rent out the space for a week and really just show their local flair of their restaurant and have that exposure and have access to college students without them having to travel into town for it. And then right across from that is our football stadium. I like to show this so then students know they don't have to travel far for game days. The stadium is right there, right on campus. And next to that is our Coliseum. So that's where students are able to go and see gymnastics and also basketball. Now that I talked a little bit about campus, I want to talk about Gainesville as a whole. So Gainesville is located right where you see that blue star. We are pretty much smack dab in the middle of North Central Florida. We are about an hour and a half away from each coast, so students are able to go there as much as they like and not have to travel too far to have access to the beach. We are about an hour and a half away from Jacksonville and about 2 hours away from Orlando, so students are able to go to Disney if they want, or their parents can drop them off and go to Disney without them. When it comes to getting to and from Gainesville, we do have our own airport, and I do travel in and out of the airport. Well, Pam and I, we both do. That's how we get to and from Gainesville. And it's very much, it's about 10 to 15 minutes away from campus. It's a very, very small airport. There is only 2 gates. I think they just added a 3rd over the summer. So it's your very small town airport. When it comes to transportation, we do have free public transportation in the city of Gainesville and also on campus. So students are able to get around without having a car if they don't want to. And we also have SNAP, which is for nighttime use for students to get them to point A to point B. Mopeds is a really popular way to get around on campus and also in the city of Gainesville. So I always tell students, if you really want to live out your European dream, this is the place for you. So now you're probably wondering, what else is there to do in Gainesville? It's a small college town. So Gainesville gives you the natural landscape and the city living, which provides the entertainment for students, but a chance to escape from campus when they need a break. So we do have Lake Wahlberg, which is for students. And this is pretty much, if a student loves those outdoor activities, this is going to be their go-to spot. And this is only about a 10 and 15 minute away from campus. And we do have a bus that goes there. So it is easily accessible for students to get there. And we have disc golf, outdoor volleyball, we have rock climbing. And if the students want to learn how to sail or canoe, this is where they can. We have natural areas, which is Payne's Prairie, which is one of my favorite places. Here, you are able to see wild horses, which I know coming from the concrete jungle that I call the Northeast, it's always fun to see some wild horses. And this was actually a photo that I was able to take of the horses. We do have natural springs, so students are able to float the springs or go swimming, and we do research within those springs also. And then there is Devil's Den. So right underneath that horse, you kind of see that ladder going into the blue. If you ever look up what are the most popular things to do in the state of Florida, this is usually one of them. And it's about 30 to 45 minutes away from campus, and students are able to snorkel or scuba dive during there. And then our downtown area is about 10 minutes walking from campus. So students are able to really go down there as much as they'd like. And we have a lot of farmers markets, live music, and foodies paradise. There are so many different types of food. I'm a huge foodie, so I love to go to downtown Gainesville and try different things whenever I'm there. I've yet to repeat a restaurant, which says a lot because I like to stick with what I like, but I also love to try different things. Now that I talked a little bit about Gainesville and UF, let's talk about the different ways that students can take to become a Gator. And these are going to be different. Not a lot of schools may have these. So please feel free to ask questions at the end about these programs because they can be interesting. So we do have Innovation Academy, which is 30 majors, and they start in spring, and they take classes spring and summer. They do graduate with a minor in innovation. This is really great for students that thrive for creativity, if they're big thinkers, or they have those entrepreneurship goals. So as I said, they take classes spring through summer. So that means their fall is completely open. This is not a program for someone who really wants that big school spirit, the football games, the rah-rah. This is probably not the best program for them. Because during that fall, they usually use that for internships, study abroad, or do research. We did have a student a few years ago work with the Seth Meyers late night show because he was able to have that fall completely free when internships aren't as competitive. Students will be able to see this on their application and will be able to apply through the application if they would like. The UF Honors Program, it is incorporated in and a part of the freshman application. There are unique opportunities for study abroad. Certain class sizes have smaller classes and opportunity for early registration of classes. And then we have PACE, which is called Pathway to Campus Enrollment. It is not something that students are able to select on their application. It's something that we, as UF admissions, can potentially admit them to. It is 60 very specific majors. We really try not to put students in there if their major would not align within this program. What is different about this program is they start their degree online, and after they complete 60 credits or 2 years, they transition onto campus. One thing to keep in mind is if a student is taking AP or dual enrollment courses, that coursework does count towards that 60 credit hours. So it may not be a full 2 years that they're doing online, but it helps kind of shorten that time. When it comes to this program, they can still be a UF student, as you would say, attend football games, be a part of Greek life, use our gym and our library. The only difference is they cannot live on campus. And with that, we usually help students find housing and things like that. At UF, we use the holistic approach when it comes to looking at our students. So it's kind of broken up into two parts how we look at our students. So the first part, we are looking at that GPA. It is weighted and recalculated. So 9th, 10th, and 11th grades is what we reweigh and recalculate. And then when it comes to that 12th grade, we're just looking at rigor. So we just want to make sure, as y'all all know, we don't want to see 12 periods of study hall, which I know isn't possible, but we just want to see students are still pushing themselves when it comes to that. And when it comes to test scores, we do super score both the SAT and the ACT. And this is very new this year. Students are able to self-report their grades. So they are able to do that after they apply. The biggest thing that you kind of see from the slide is that we do not conduct interviews and we do not ask for letters of recommendation. So it's really important when it comes to that essay and activities and involvement to be as thorough as possible. And I say this because this application that they use to apply to UF is also what we use for scholarships. So students do not have to submit extra essays or anything like that. So it's kind of a one-shop application where everything that they need will be right there. Now I'm going to talk about the important deadlines and what our middle 50% looks like. So when it comes to November 1st, you're going to see priority deadline. At UF, that's what we use term-wise. I tell students, consider this a hard deadline. If students apply after November 1st, it's as they're considered for the space available, which doesn't happen because we usually get over 50,000 applicants a year. So just make sure that their application is in by November 1st, and that's either the coalition or the common application. We don't do early decision or early action. We just have the priority deadline. And then December 1st is the SSAR, which is the student self-reported academic record. As y'all probably know, there's another system called the SRAR. Ours is different. So if students, or just you as a rule of thumb, if students are applying to any Florida public schools, we use the system called the SSAR. So they only have to do it once and then it will be sent to all of them. We do not use the one within the common or the coalition application because we can't reweigh it how we would like to. And when it does come to this, if you are working with juniors or underclassmen, we do not take pluses or minuses. So this is something to keep in mind. So it's either just a solid A, B, C, D, or I guess F. So we don't do like A plus or B minus or things like that. And then December 15th is our test scores. As I said, students are able to self-report. The best way that I kind of look at these deadlines is when you're getting dressed in the morning, you're not putting everything on all at once. You're going to put your socks on at one time, and then you're going to put your pants on and then your shirt on. It's kind of steps. That's how we like to look at this process because we don't want students to feel stressed to have everything completed at once. So we give them these certain steps to kind of ease the process of applying to UF. If students meet all three of these deadlines, they find out the same day if they get in or not. And that's at the end of February. At the bottom, you are able to see what our middle 50% looks like. And like I said, think of a bell curve and just remember that GPA is recalculated and reweighted and the test scores are super scored. And now a little fun, because I just did a lot of talking. We're going to do some fact or fiction. So feel free to use the thumbs up for true or the shocked face for false, because who loves a little interaction during a presentation? So, harder to get in if a student is out of state. Thumbs up for true, shocked face, I guess, for the reactions. I think that was all that I saw. All right, thumbs up. So, nope. False, we have absolutely no preference for in-state or out-of-state students. We are residency blind, so we're not looking at students when we are making our decisions. Next, it is easier to get accepted if they start in summer term or indicate they would like to be accepted in summer term. Here's everyone. False. So when we are making our decisions, we are not looking for if a student hits summer or fall. I will say students, usually a lot of them do pick summer or picked fall, but to make sure that we can get everyone in to register for classes, we may change that term to summer. So it is something for students to kind of keep in mind during the admissions process. And summer term usually starts right after 4th of July. Students are not required to live on campus their first year. True for thumbs up, or false could be the shocked face. True, we do not require housing, nor we guarantee it. So When it comes to the housing application process, about 2 days after they apply, they will get an email to do the housing application. And that's just because everyone will hopefully apply by November 1st, but not everyone applies for housing. So housing is first come, first serve based off of when they do that housing application. I always tell students, if you want to have a say or have more options to pick your resident hall when the time comes, just do it sooner or later. The application is only $25 and it does get applied to them, get applied once they start. Almost there. So number 4, if you choose a certain major on their application, they have a better chance of getting in. False. We do not consider majors when we are making our decisions, and about 65% of our students change their major at UF. So I don't want students to think if they are picking undecided or engineering, it's harder for them to get in. When they're applying to UF, they're just applying to the university as a whole. I honestly during the process, I'd have to go out of my way to look at their majors, and I promise you we're not doing that. Everyone finds out the same day of their admission decision. I hope everyone knows the answer to this since I said it. Yes, there we go. Oh, true. We release the decisions all on the same day, which is the last Friday in February. We do it after 5 p.m. so no one's in the office to answer those great phone calls that we get and those emails, because we get them, and it's always a great time that Monday morning, which is usually the day of my birthday. So it's always a great week. And last question, students have a summer course requirement, which I think I touched this a little bit. And it is true. So all public universities in Florida have a summer requirement. It is 9 credits. So students are able to break that up if they'd like to. Also, if they do decide to study abroad, they can do study abroad during the summer, and they only need 6 credits for that. That's a little more too much knowledge, but it's better to have too much, because I know parents are always asking, what is the summer requirement, or what is this on the financial aid scholarship report that I see of this summer tuition? And that's all that I have. This is kind of my contact slide with my phone number and my email address.